Yes, people, welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I hope you are. Well, we're back for the starting lineup reaction and build-up show for Anderlecht versus West Ham United. It's yet another group stage game in the Europa Conference League as we aim to win the group, get through to the knockout stages of the Conference League. I hope you are all well watching. Before we get into it, drop a like on the video, subscribe to West Ham Unofficial if you're new. Check out our channel sponsors, SRM Carbon Sun, by clicking the link in the description down below. I hope you're all well in the chat. I am joined by Phil for the build-up show. Phil, how are you?
Very good, thank you, Jake. Another European night, or afternoon, should we say?
Yeah, afternoon. Yeah, with a 5:45 tea time kickoff over there in Anderlecht. Of course, many thousands of West Ham fans have made the Euro star. Most of them over to Anderlecht. Looks like a good atmosphere over there. Before we get into the lineup, which we now have, Phil, your thoughts on tonight?
I think it's going to be an interesting game. Obviously, we won the first two games we played in Europe. So I think after the game we played the other day, there's going to be a bit more confidence running through the team. We're going to be more up for it. And even though the last games we played in Europe, even though we won, it's not like we stole the show really. So it's going to be an interesting one, especially as Anderlecht's the biggest team that we're playing there now. So it's going to be, it's going to be very, very interesting. Hopefully successful.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Let's get into this lineup then. So it's not official on the West Ham Twitter page, but we do have it off of the UEFA app. Now, I do think the formation that they've put here is wrong, but I'm surprised, and Phil, you will be surprised as well. So we're going to start with Areola in goal. Johnson makes his return at left back, it says. Ogbonna and Dawson, Ogbonna as captain, as two centre backs. Soufal at right back, and they've put Emerson, Downs, and Lanzini as a midfield three. Now, I'd be incredibly surprised if that happens. I could see Emerson going into midfield, but more likely we're talking about David Moyes here. It's probably going to be him starting back into perhaps the left wing back position, his more favoured position. And then it's either going to be Johnson or Soufal slotting in as that other centre back, and then the other one goes out at right wing back. And then Benrahma, Antonio, and Jarrod Bowen. So you've got no Scamacca there, so that could imply that he might start on Sunday. You've got no Paqueta there, which is interesting. Benrahma gets a start, which I think is crucial. There's lots to digest there. We'll start with the defensive situation, Phil. Knowing that Emerson is probably going to play at left wing back, a back five away from home, toughest game of the group. Wise or not?
Yeah, like you say, it's a bit of a shock one. I'm sure I wouldn't say that's going to be the official, formation, like you said. But look, they're all good players. At the end of the day, I think it's an interesting move. But if Emerson's playing as a left wing back, I think that could be all right. I reckon if he's going to bomb up forward. It's obviously a surprise with some certain faces not starting. So that's obviously going to imply they're going to be playing against Fulham this weekend. Yeah, but obviously I don't know if that shows the subs or
not. It does not. We're going to try and get the lineup as soon as we can. But West Ham are just slacking a little bit. But we will get that soon. Here we go. The lineup is in. Let's just make sure that's right. Areola, Soufal, Johnson, Ogbonna, Dawson, Emerson, Lanzini, Downs, Benrahma, Bowen, and Antonio. That is bang on. We're going to bring that up on screen. Get the substitutes and more. This is the team news right here on West Ham Unofficial. Okie dokie then. So let's just bring this up on screen so we can all still be in it. And let's go straight to the substitutes bench as well then. So we've got Fabianski, Randolph, where he does two keepers, Kera, Zuma, Rice, Coventry, Suchet, Fornals, Paqueta, Scamacca, Creswell, and the 16-year-old makes the bench. So I don't know whether any of you seen on Declan Rice's Instagram last night. He put a picture with number 68, the 16-year-old Skulls, who made his, I think it was under 21s or 23 debut last month, and he's now been brought in to the first team squad for the Conference League game. So let's digest that. So we've got Fabianski, Randolph keepers, Kera, Zuma, and Creswell's the defenders. Rice, Coventry, Souček, which you say four nows of the midfielders. Paqueta and Scamacca as the out-and-out attacking options there. We'll come back to the lineup in a second, but that substitutes bench. It's good for the young lad to have an opportunity. They're not quite 15 that Mikel Arteta went for, but good to give him the opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, first and foremost, it's a very, very, very strong lineup, and I mean, strong subs bench as well to complement that lineup. It's it just goes to show what happens when you get strength in depth. Obviously, we always seem to have like Randolph in there as the second goalkeeper in the subs, so like he ain't going to play, but
yeah,
that's a very strong bench and young skulls, 16 years old, starting to. It'll make you look old at some point,
Yeah.
I was like that when there was players that I was beginning to be older than going into the team. It's a good lineup as well as a good subs bench. So we're gonna bring in some pretty important players on at some point. Depends on how the game's going to be. You never know. He might come on and make his debut. Young Skulls. I know he's 16, but I think he's turning 17 in a couple of months. I think I look. So
is he? Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. So I don't know if he'll probably be like, if he comes on, I think he'd be like our second youngest ever player. I think.
Like that,
yeah. So very, very good, strong team.
Yeah.
And I think that we'll see what the actual formation is going to be, but I think it's going to be that the back, three at the back, and then Soufal, Emerson as the wing backs.
Yeah.
And I'd say it's important to have Ben Rama starting as well, Downs as well, get some fresh legs in the midfield as well. I think Lanzini's very good when he does slot into that sort of number 8 role, so to speak, on occasions. I think it's a well-earned rest for some of our players who always played constantly, especially Rice, who I saw earlier. He said he played like, was it 60
odd games in a year.
Yeah. It is an awful lot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and he is these players obviously are very fit and they're there for a reason, but they are still human. We'll talk about that more in just a second. Happy Hammer, I hope you are well. Happy Hammer is very happy that Lanzini is there. So fundamentally, I'm going to break this down now. So the way I look at it now, we've got the options there. So if I look, the players that I'd expect to start on Sunday against Fulham that are starting tonight, I'd say is probably Bowen. I don't think Antonio will start on Sunday. I think Scamacca will. Ben Rama, you never know. Lanzini and Downs aren't going to start. Emerson, you're not sure. Dawson, maybe. Ogbonna, probably not. Johnson, maybe. Soufal, probably not. Now Kera's playing right back and Areola, no. So when you look at that, there's a lot of players there that are getting the rest that won't start on Sunday. And Wally says it here. I'm interested in would not have predicted Rice not starting. I think it's strange because Moyes has gone more attacking. He's gone more, what's the word? More strong in games with probably not as big of a name. And then he's thoroughly rotated it today. I'm a little bit.
It is a hard one. It's hard to digest that one. I think we're obviously with Anderlecht being the bigger team, so to speak, in this group.
The name of the group.
Yeah, the name, the history, and all the rest of it. So I think it's there to show off how much depth we do have.
Yeah.
And let's just have a look at it again. They're all very good players.
Yeah.
Obviously not all of them are first team players who are playing week in, week out for us, but they still come on, do a good job. So it's not like it's, when you're playing like a League Two side in the third round of the FA Cup and you're playing like half the reserve team, is it? No. So they're all good individual players, and some of them, they're very good together when they link up.
Yeah.
And we've got that. We've got the Arsenal now in the subs bench to bring on some match-winning players.
Yeah, I agree.
Go.
Hammerhead says a bit of a strange lineup. Not that sure how I feel about it. Too weak. I can understand. I can understand what you're saying, Hammerhead. It is strange considering how strong Moyes has gone in different games and how he's dropped Rice and Souček, which I don't think he's barely ever done. Like together, drop them both and put them on the bench. Yeah, Lanzini and Downs is obviously good to see Downs get a run out and Lanzini because he's not had much game time this year. And one thing we haven't even talked about yet is Ogbonna, who's got the captain's armband tonight, which is good. Hopefully he is pushing back to full fitness. Dawson starting again is good. Soufal, time to reverse his poor start to the season. Johnson getting himself back to some fitness. Benrahma getting game time. Bowen starts again, which is interesting. And Antonio, it seems like one's going to play one game out of the week and then the other's going to play the other. So in some senses it makes sense, but not quite sure what David Moyes has been thinking considering some of the lineups and stubbornness that he has and he's put out before, Phil.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why no one really knows what to make of this, because we was not expecting it at all.
No.
So look, I think he's sort of doing what a lot of people wanted him to do anyway. He's like rotate players, rest people, so no one gets too fatigued. But we don't know until we go out there. At the end of the day, they're still good players, like I say. Some of them have played alongside each other already in the past. So, it's nice to see Ogbonna and Dawson partnering each other again, recreating some of that 2020-2021 season form together, which is nice. And as like you say, him getting the armband as well, I think that helps because he's great at organising the defence. Antonio, I knew was going to start, to be honest with you.
It kind of makes sense that, as I said, one plays Europe and one plays Premier League, and I'm glad he's gave Scamacca the opportunity in the Premier League, to be honest.
Absolutely, that's what we paid the big bucks for him for.
Yeah.
So I knew that it was going to be like one who plays tonight isn't going to be starting the next game. So it's good. Scamacca will get a nice little rest, and then he'll be up for it, which is good.
There are plenty of players they get in rest. Fabianski, not that he needs a rest, but Zuma, Kera, players like that. Scamacca gets himself a bit of a rest, and who else have we got there? Creswell, if he's going to start on Sunday, gets the rest, which he doesn't get very often. Obviously, Rice and Souček as well. So a big majority of that side that we expect to start on Sunday is rested, and especially because it's a game away from home, which is a bonus as well that we can afford to do this. And hopefully it's now going to eradicate kind of the Brentford aways of last year, for example, where we came back after a big European night or just an away European game, and we were obviously lackluster. We weren't great because we were whatever, just not fit enough after playing and traveling back and everything else. So hopefully that's going to eradicate that out slightly and see perhaps a better performance against a side like Fulham on Sunday, Phil.
Absolutely, as well. Obviously we're here for the Anderlecht game, but I think talking about the Fulham game, they've had a fantastic start to the season, and then obviously they lost quite heavily to Newcastle. So you don't know what sort of team you're going to be facing on Sunday. They could still be. This could be the start of them dropping a bit further down, or they might bounce back. We don't know. But it's important, especially for a game like this, because this is basically what all the the top six do, because they can afford to have big big squads. So we're just doing what they usually do for a European game.
Reading sort of in between the lines, so this could suggest this is just anticipation. This could suggest that we could see perhaps a Paqueta and a Fornals link up with Scamacca on Sunday. Perhaps he's saving those sort of players. Perhaps he's got something planned for Sunday. Because I am surprised Paqueta's not starting tonight. To be honest, I am glad that Benrahma is starting. But I said in my preview yesterday, I'd expect Paqueta, Bowen, and Benrahma to start. Paqueta's the one that's missed out. Which is interesting. It's just take some of your comments, keep them coming in, guys. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to West Ham Unofficial if you're new. Miss Hammer, I hope you are well. Matt says, a Bowen aside, he must see this as a reserve side. Should still be strong enough to get a point. Yeah, we've got to be focusing on the Premier League now, and I think David Moyes might have gone, Phil. He might have gone, we've got a win under our belts now in the Premier League. We need to kick on. I'm going to put out a weaker side to get us at the optimum fitness, ready to hopefully go and win again and win 2 on the bounce in the Premier League. All of a sudden, that bit of pressure drops off of David Moyes and the players' shoulders, and then hopefully we won't look back then, and hopefully we don't get a negative result and performance tonight.
I think as long as we get a decent result tonight, that's all that matters. Obviously, it feels like it's a weakened side, but I still think it's fairly strong in my eyes.
Yeah.
But it's a bold move from David Moyes. You know, I've said it many times that he's very, very, very stubborn at the best of times. So he's just saying, like, you know, I'm not always like that. I can mix up if I wanted to.
Exactly, he's mixed it up big time, and I was shocked when I saw it. No Rod, no Souček, which shocked me even more.
Unless it's his evil twin brother in charge tonight.
Exactly. Maybe he's got like a doppelganger or whatever. He's got somebody taking his way, and right, let's steer it this way. Let's change. Let's mix things up, Moisey.
That's it.
Hamhead with a bit of with an interesting comment. Soufal and Johnson should be sold in January. By no means am I a huge fan of both Soufal and Johnson. Soufal's definitely been a little bit ropey at the moment, and Johnson, attacking wise, has never completely convinced me. But I don't think they should be. I don't think they should be sold as much. Ashby is better than both of them. I do believe he's got the quality to be better than both of them. He's not quite there yet, but
he will do. Yeah.
Yeah, he will do, but I think we have got to hold on to Soufal and especially Johnson as well, until whether we can A, keep hold of Ashby, B, he wants to stay, and C, he turns into the player that we want him to. I think he is injured. He's not in the squad tonight. I would have expected him to, so he's still recovering from that injury he had. Moyes is so unpredictable but in a bad way. Would you agree with that, Phil?
I suppose I could slightly agree with that because I'm not used to him being unpredictable. But it's like sometimes you can be like predictably unpredictable. I think it is still a bit of a weird one, but he's the manager. He gets paid to make these big decisions, so I have to support him with it. Let's just hope it don't backfire.
Well, exactly. He's basically gone, sod it, I'm going to change the formation. I'm going to bring in a load of new players and rest our main first team body, and just hope we win.
For the best.
That you wouldn't expect David Moyes to do. Has actually been injured. He has been, but I think he is nearing full fitness. What he says, we do have a lot of matches this month, so it makes sense to rotate. Down. Hammerhead says, if we win this game without having to bring on some of the main team lads, then I'll be surprised. They are a good side, but I think we are not putting as much trust as we should be in the players we've got there. We've still got Lanzini, Emerson, Ogbonna. You got some experienced players there, as well as Benrahma, Bowen, and Antonio. Let's not forget as well, which is 3/4 of the Fab Four that we had a couple of seasons ago. So by no means is this like putting out the youngsters in the FA Cup against whoever, Sam Allardyce. This is still a solid side.
Yeah, it is. How often do we do something like this anyway? Even when we had fairly strongish sides in the past, there was still half a load of youngsters on the sub bench anyway. We haven't got that, and we're not relying on youngsters or players who ain't played in years, are we? There's still players who can all make an impact. We got no choice really. Soufal and Johnson. It's like Hammerhead said, maybe sell them, which I don't think we should. But they might not have had the greatest of form of late, but
these are the games. These are the games. Peter says here, and I do agree with him. Strange, no Paqueta. Thought this game would be ideal for him. Yeah, that was my exact thoughts when I saw the lineup. I was surprised to see Benrahma over him. Bowen, not so much, because Bowen seems to start pretty much every game nowadays. But yeah, I was surprised. Unless we could see Paqueta starting in the Premier League on Sunday, and Moyes has got a plan. Maybe this is just a master plan where Moyes he's got his notebook. He's changed the formation tonight to get ready for Sunday. But yeah, there is big changes there, and of course, there's been a bit of a strange reaction to it because we're not used to it. We don't see it very often. But hopefully it pays off. And I think David Moyes has got everything crossed that it does pull off. And you know, not everybody's on his back come 8 o'clock tonight, Phil.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right. But he's probably thought about this for the last couple of weeks where we had the international break. So he could afford to put his, the best team against Wolves out. And then, regarding as long as everyone's been fit and not get injured. Shame, obviously Cornet's not fit, which is a shame. But he must have looked at this, and the amount of games we've got coming up as well. So it's very, very vital to be starting to rotate the players, so it keeps everyone sort of sharp and match fit anyway.
Yeah. Do you know it? It's able to give players rest, and I think the perfect opportunity as well is for people like Downs, Ben Rama, and even Soufan and Johnson to firmly put themselves into David Moyes' mind by saying, I am still here. Don't forget about me. I am still here. In terms of the Anderlecht lineup, I'm not going to read it out because there's no names that I've ever heard of, to be honest with you. So we're not even going to bother with pronunciation of that, which is fine. But 5 at the back, away from home, not as strong as we would have expected. There's plenty of changes. What do you make if we keep your comments coming in right here on West Ham Unofficials, the build-up and starting lineup reaction? And there's certainly been a reaction to this lineup across social media and here on the channel. Before we carry on, check out our channel sponsors, SRM Carver and Son, by clicking the link in the description down below, as well as voting for us in this year's Football Content Awards. There's days left to vote. We will be up there in Manchester, and I hope that we'll be picking up an award. The only people that can make that happen is you guys by voting for me on Twitter, on Instagram, and on the website, which is linked in the description down below. Keep voting, guys. Every vote counts. Thank you very much indeed. Frema, hope you are well as well. James, good evening, all you Continental Irons and everybody else out in the beautiful and very sunny Brussels, I must say, as well today. The West Ham fans come and a bit of sun arrived. Are we feeling good today? Phil, sum up your thoughts on the lineup in just one word.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
fair enough. Apprehensive is what I'm going to say. Like
Very good word.
I've just opened the door and just peeked my head round and just kind of went back and went, okay, happy hammer. Here we go, another win. Jakey, fingers crossed. I tell you what, if we win, that's going to be one good night. I tell you, that will be one good night. But yeah, in terms of Anderlecht, do you think David Moyes has disrespected them in a way by almost putting out a weaker lineup than he has for people and clubs like Silkeborg and stuff, and Viborg, and these FCSB, these other teams, or not, Phil?
It's a surprise. We've always played the strongest possible team anyway, even when we're playing the smaller teams in the past. So it's I don't know. So I'd say about disrespecting, but
yeah.
It's just bold. Ruthless.
Yeah, bold is the word. Yeah, I think overall it's just an element of shock, and we do play Anderlecht twice in 2 weeks, which is a massive factor of it as well. So we play them today, and then we play them a week today, back at the London Stadium, which is interesting as well. So it's just straight out bang the 2 games in quick succession, which may mean and gives the opportunity for, if it does go wrong tonight, for David Moyes to quick fix it, reassess things, and perhaps not be as flamboyant as he has been tonight. But let's get into our score prediction, Phil. What you're going for? Score prediction, how you think the game's going to go, and anything else you would like to say?
Well, it's going to be very unpredictable today. There's a few players to watch out. I don't know if that Fabio Silva's starting for Anderlecht.
Let's have a look. That's a very good point.
Yeah, there's a couple of names who we know from the Premier League. Here, they got Jan Vertonghen in their defence.
He's not starting.
Is he not?
He's not starting. Let's just have a look. Vertonghen's on their bench, actually. Well,
oh, really?
Well read. Yeah, so their lineup is in goal, crikey. Van Kronbrugge, De Bast, Hout, Delcroix, Muriloy, Amadou Diawa, Ashimeru, Arnstad, Vasharenkan, and Silva, number 99. So Fabio Silva is a former Wolves man, does start tonight. I think he played for Wolves.
He's on loan.
Is he on loan? Is he? Yeah.
Mm,
With the funky hair.
that's it.
Yeah. Yes. So
He's
a
one
couple of
person to
players.
watch out for. He's one person to watch out for because he's still only a very young kid as well. And Wolves paid an awful lot of money for him the other year.
Mm,
So I looked on his. I think he's got a bit of he's on a bit of a goal scoring streak at this season on loan, I
yeah.
believe. So
Mm,
he's definitely one person to watch out for
mm,
tonight, and also next week if he don't get injured. But it's
yeah.
going to be very interesting. I think if I'm going for the score prediction, I'm still going to be positive because at the end of the day, a lot of big names are on the bench, but I reckon a couple of them probably get on at half time,
Mm.
depending on how it's going. And I think it's going to be 2-0 to us.
Some goal scorers. Just dip your foot in, Phil.
Goal scorers. Let's go for Bowen.
Yeah.
Pretty early on, the classic sort of Bowen finish, a bit like the one against Wolves. And then I think it's going to be a goal from the subs bench.
Oh.
So, but that depends who's coming on.
It does. It does. Can you read David Moyes' mind? Not many of us can, quite clearly.
No, not tonight. I'm going to go and be very telepathic here. Skamaker's going to come on and he's going to score from 25 yards out.
Oh, cheeky again. Yeah. You've actually done the ultimate wrongdoing tonight by nicking my prediction, which happens every now and then, which has not made me very happy for never. I'm gonna go 3-1. I think they're gonna score first. I think they're gonna shock us early on, a bit like
Yeah.
Silkeborg did. But I think we're gonna come back. I think it'll be 1-1 at half time, maybe a substitution or two, and I think we pick up all 3 points. And create a gap now at the top of the at the top of the group, taking it back to the London Stadium next week. I think tonight, would you say a point is a bad result away from home against probably the best side and the biggest name in the league, considering the lineup we've put out?
No, I won't be disappointed at all. As long as we don't lose, and it's still Anderlecht, they're still a big team. They're the team that we was worrying about at the end of the day. So I'll be, as long as we don't lose, I'll be pretty satisfied. I think if they do beat us, they go above us.
They do.
Yeah. So it's important to bridge that gap. And next week, if we get a decent result tonight, and then next week when we play them, we get another win there, more or less through, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, let's just have a look because, to be honest, I haven't bothered looking at the group. So we are in Group B. And I'm going to bring it up on screen, and we'll go through kind of, and we will go through what we can do. So we're currently top on 6 points, Anderlecht on 4, FCSB on 1, Silkeborg 0. So there are 2 people, there are 2 clubs that are going to get through here. There's first and there's second. Second means we've got to go through a playoff in February, and first means go straight through to the last 16, I think it is. Or round of the round of 32 is the playoff, I think, or something to do with that.
It'd be like last year.
Yeah. At the end of the day, if we finish second, we've got to go through another tie. But worst comes to worst, if we lose tonight, we're up to 7 points. Anderlecht are up to 7 points. If we pick up anything at home next week, then we will go above them, goal difference dependent. And then I think we've got FCSB away and Silkeborg at home. But if we do win tonight, that then puts us on 9 points, makes a 5-point gap, which is, as long as we don't go catastrophically wrong and lose 2 games against FCSB and Silkeborg, that'll all but consolidate our first place position. So there's actually quite a lot on tonight, and we can nearly wrap things up.
Yeah, I think this is why this is brilliant. It's a very big game against the biggest team in the group that we're facing. Can go one or 2 ways, but just get it. Just go out there, get it done, get your 3 points, bridge that gap, and then next week hopefully we get a nice result, and then just take it easy. Then.
Yeah, exactly. And then we can start, knowing that we're mathematically through, which I think we will be at that stage. And then we can mix things up even more. And quite people will not be happy then. But once we're through, I think then David Moyes can just sit back and relax.
We can afford to.
Yeah, you can. James is going for a 2-1 Oggy and Balance. So we're going for a centre-back
Oh,
pairing double to win. I like it, James.
didn't think of
I
that.
like it. I like 4-1 to the mighty Hammers. Fremmer is confident.
Very confident.
Fremmer is confident in the boys that Moyes has put out. I like it. Fremmer says, yeah, it's the best team, but not doing well in the league. That's a very good point. They're currently
True.
10th in the Belgian league,
Ooh.
and you have to be third to qualify for the conference. They're 10 games into their season, and they're sitting 10th. Bang mid-table, I think, and they finished third last year to qualify for this. So they're currently a long way off what they were last season. So they're not on the best run of form, as are we. Let's be honest. We aren't great at the moment, but hopefully running up another nice chilled out, not too much drama like the Silkboard game. That's a little bit too much. I didn't quite like that. Let's get it done. Get the 3 points. Consolidate ourselves at the top of the table, and that's it. Final thoughts, Phil?
Just go out there, get a decent result.
Go out there
Job
and get
done.
a result. Exactly that. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. This has been the Anderlecht versus West Ham build-up show and starting lineup reaction. If you've enjoyed it, smash that like button. How many likes are we on? 11. Come on, people. Smash that like button whilst you're here. And yeah, thank you very much. Vote for us in the Football Content Awards. Subscribe. All of that stuff. You know what to do. Phil, thank you very much for coming on.
Pleasure as always, Jake. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. And we'll catch you soon. We'll catch you on the final whistle at around what are we on? 5:45, 7, around 7:45 for the full-time reaction. Hopefully we're talking about another 3 points on the board from us. Come on, your irons, and we'll catch you soon right here on West Ham Unofficial. Cheers, guys, and bye-bye.